We're here at Build. The keynote just wrapped up. What's your first impression?
There was a lot of stuff happening. It took quite a long time to get to the meaty stuff, but when we got there was some really interesting stuff getting launched.
It's almost 3 hours of keynote that we just sat through. Our behinds are a little bit sore at this point, but at least they gave us tables and Ethernet. What were your highlights to start with?
So I think there's some really cool stuff happening for the developers. I think that was my favorite thing. They're bringing out a whole series of APIs to help developers create software that's more human. So doing stuff like language recognition stuff and image captioning, image recognition things, and making sure that developers don't have to code all of that themselves.
Right.
So bringing the power of the cloud into that is really cool.
Machine learning has been really a hot topic, not just at Microsoft, but Google has been doing a lot of it. They just had announcements last week. Is there anything that Microsoft is doing that's very different from what everybody else is doing?
I think the thing Microsoft has realized is that they need to focus on a much broader audience than some of the others. So what they're doing is trying to kind of open up the platforms to other types of developers as well. So with Cortana, for example, they're trying to get it across all the platforms, and I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more. With the Azure stuff, they're really kind of breaking it open and saying, hey, we want everybody to be using these platforms, and we want to make sure that everybody actually develops not just for Windows, but actually gets it out into the wider world.
Well, you said the Windows word, so why don't we
did say the Windows
go
word.
to that, because that's what they opened up with.
Yeah.
They had some new numbers for Windows, which are pretty impressive numbers, aren't they?
They are. I mean, they really are crushing it at the moment with getting loads and loads of content out there for an incredible number of devices. The newest number that came out was 270 million?
Million, yeah.
270 million devices.
Not billion, that's a lot of devices.
That's a lot of devices. 270 million devices that are actively using Windows every single month, which is up from 200 just at the start of this year. They're seeing some incredible growth, and any other company would be jealous of those kind of numbers.
Come this summer, they're going to launch not a new version of Windows 10, but a major update to Windows 10.
Yeah, a bit of a celebration almost.
Yeah, what's it called?
The Anniversary Edition?
Yeah, an update. A lot of it is really just evolutionary stuff. So they're taking Windows Hello, which is kind of the login screen security part, where you can have face recognition to lock you in, or even iris scans for enterprises. They're taking that, and they're taking all that technology, and they're putting it into their apps. Basically the way the fingerprint readers work on mobile these days. So they're putting that into apps, Windows apps, but also on the web. Right now, that only works with the Edge browser, but the idea is Chrome or anybody else could integrate it too. So when you get to Facebook, you just show your face to Facebook and you can log in.
Showing your face to Facebook. I think that's going to catch on.
I think that's not a bad idea, probably.
And there's a lot of Cortana updates that goes with that as well. I'll be honest, I haven't really been paying that much attention to what Cortana's been doing, but in the demos today, I was really impressed by the sheer amount of power and the deep integration that you get with Cortana. The sheer amount of just being able to pull all the different strands together in your life. And I imagine a lot of that only really works for if you are all Windows on your platform. But the stuff they're doing on Android and iOS, they're really trying to pull all of that together and opening it up to a much wider audience as well.
Sure. The one thing that most people probably did not see coming today was that Microsoft is basically building Linux into Windows 10.
Wait, so we've gone full circle from doing the MS-DOS shell to Windows built on DOS, Windows on its own, and now we get a separate shell for Windows?
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
What we have now is we have Microsoft actually worked with Canonical, the guys who make Ubuntu, to put a little version of Ubuntu more or less into Windows 10. And the bash shell, the standard shell on most Linux distributions and Mac OS is OS 10 as well, is now part of Windows 10.
Who would have thought? That is mad.
It's a totally different Microsoft. To wrap it up, the last thing they talked about was bots. It was all about bots. After the Taybot disaster last week.
Yeah, they kind of brushed over that one a little bit.
They at least they mentioned
acknowledged that it was a problem.
Yeah. But what do you think?
I think it's really interesting how Microsoft seems to want to be the future of everything to do with bots. They're building frameworks, they're building integrations, they're building APIs, and they're making it as easy as possible for people to build integration bots. The stuff they showed off today was mostly using Skype as an interface into the various bots. But there's a huge amount of attention around making bots and developing bots and integrating bots into various things. And Microsoft, using the APIs and tools they already have available, seem to be really good at placing themselves right in the heart of that development, which is kind of clever of them.
Absolutely. Do you think it will hurt them that they almost have no position on mobile where they can get more data, have the bots more accessible? And most people don't really want to talk to their desktops, I think. But I don't know.
Yeah, no, talking to your computer is definitely a mobile thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Microsoft is going to be hurting for not having so much mobile penetration in pretty much anything they do. But if they manage to get significantly better than Siri, Alexa, all that kind of stuff, maybe there is more of a space for doing knowledge exchange and that kind of stuff. Maybe those partnerships are already in the pipeline.
Sure. Well, that's it from us. We will be back tomorrow when there's day 2 of Build and another keynote. Tomorrow it's all going to be about Azure and the cloud and developer tools, and be a very different event tomorrow.